Alright, so you're trying to make some breakfast. Can't have avocados? Okay, let's have some eggs. Oh, we can't eat eggs, dude? Okay, how about some oats? No, what are you an idiot, dude? Okay, chia seeds, they're pretty good. No, no, what are you doing, dude? Are you stupid? Okay, I'll just have a banana. Why? Yeah, this is a big issue at the moment. There's so many people just saying, oh, this food's bad for this reason. But you gotta argue the other side. Every food has inherent upsides and downsides. You can't just say one side of the argument. My name's Shay, I'm a nutritionist and an international level athlete, and today we've got an interesting video. There's a lot of issues at the moment as far as diet and tribalism. No one can agree, so what's going on? The thing is, you can do this with pretty much any food, and I'll show you what I mean. I got some things here I eat regularly. I'll explain why they're good later, but olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Oh, this is so calorie dense. It's pretty much all fats. You're gonna gain weight. What else I got here? I got some candy. Oh, it's just all sugar. You're gonna get diabetes. Okay, we got turmeric. Oh, it's got so much phytic acid. You're gonna get kidney stones. Okay, we got Brazil nuts. What are you doing, dude? You're gonna give yourself selenium poisoning. Chia seeds? Are you kidding? This is a choking hazard, dude. Like, what? I eat all these things very regularly, and the thing is, you can give upsides and downsides for every food. And just pointing out the downsides is so problematic because a lot of the time the upsides of a food, the nutrition of it, will outweigh the specific, minute things that might offset that. So like, I've got a couple more here of Paul Saladino, and I actually kind of like the guy. He was big on being, the carnivore guy. He's recently gone back to some of the stuff, but I like that he's able to admit that he got a couple things wrong. But he's got some oats here.
Fake health foods, oatmeal. You think this is the best breakfast ever. This is not the breakfast of champions. Oats are full of phytic acid, a compound that chelates, that bites onto minerals like magnesium, zinc, calcium, iron, and many others in your body, and prevents you from absorbing them. Basically, your morning oatmeal is robbing you of nutrients, not a health food, horrible breakfast.
Yeah, so basically phytic acid will bind to some of these minerals and theoretically reduce absorption. But the thing is, you can circumvent this and just soak the oats overnight maybe, and then, drain them, and then most of the phytic acid's out of it. So you can kind of just do that. And even if you don't do that, because personally I don't soak and drain my oats, you're still getting some of the nutrients. Like, it's very, very dense in minerals, oats are, and there's also a bit of protein, bit of fiber. To say you just shouldn't eat this because it's phytic acid is a little bit lazy. And the issue is, if you only argue one part of the argument, right, I can also say, oh, phytic acids are really potent as an antioxidant. But that's only part of the argument, and probably the downsides outweigh that. But I don't have to say that if I'm trying to trick people, right? And another issue here is the anchoring effect. Basically, people will cling on to the first bit of information they get, and they'll be quite reluctant to change their stance on that. So if this is the first thing they've seen, and they didn't really have an opinion on oats, now they think oats are bad, and they're probably really unwilling to change their mind on that. So now, every time you see someone eating oatmeal, they're like, oh, oats are bad, what are you doing? It's problematic, especially when you have a large following like Paul does. And again, I don't really dislike Paul. I think he's a decent guy. But there's kind of that responsibility when you have a large audience that trusts you, just to, argue both sides. Because otherwise, if they trust you blindly, you end up with this. I've got another one here.
One of the main reasons I signed up with the company, just because I've been using them and they're so delicious, and like shakes, but also stuff like this, baking.
Protein powders are waste products.
Do not sleep on the
Seriously, stop consuming them.
Yeah, I also had a...
It's a waste product. And you shouldn't eat protein powder because it's a waste product. If you don't know milk, when you make cheese, you get cheese and you get whey/casein. So you could also argue that cheese is a waste product if you're aiming to make the whey. And he doesn't say any reasoning here why it's bad, right? And also with this meal here.
Meal number, I guess technically 4.
White rice, arsenic, carbohydrates, which are sugar, nothing else, garbage slave food. Zucchini, slave fruit, has nothing, only pesticides on the outside. Why do you eat a chicken breast? Just chicken breast, no fat. Again, that's slave food. The tomatoes are not found like that in nature. It's a nightshade, could be problematic long term. You shouldn't over.
It's problematic long term. There isn't much evidence on tomatoes being an issue just because they're a nightshade. That's a bit of a reach. Zucchini is a bit hollow. Saying it's full of pesticides is assuming that it's not organic. Chicken breast is slave food, apparently. White rice does have a bit of arsenic in it, to be fair, but you'd have to be eating quite a bit for it to become problematic. Again, it's like, just argue the counterpoint as well before you tell people that just all these foods are bad. It's like, what can I eat, dude? You can point out an issue with everything. If you are enjoying, please be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. It's free, helps me out, and I'd love to have you on board. And I've got a couple more here of Paul, so this one's about spinach.
Is spinach causing your kidney stones? You've been told that spinach is good for you, but did you know that spinach is by far the biggest source of oxalates in the American diet? What are oxalates? They're a compound found in plant foods that can accumulate in the human body and cause all sorts of problems, including calcium oxalate kidney stones. These make up over 80% of all kidney stones. So chances are, if you or someone you know has kidney stones, they contain dietary oxalates. How much spinach do you have to eat to increase your risk of kidney stones? This will vary from person to person, but if you have a history of kidney stones, your doctor may recommend a low oxalate diet, which usually consists of less than 50 milligrams of dietary oxalates per day, an amount found in 10 grams of raw.
Yeah, so like, while he's raising a valid issue, no one wants kidney stones, and oxalates will raise the risk. As far as spinach goes, again, it's one of the most micronutrient-dense things you can eat as far as minerals go. Like, if we're pulling it up here, very high in iron, magnesium, manganese, potassium, vitamin K, vitamin C, folate, vitamin A. And as far as the oxalates go, boil them for 5 minutes, drain the water, and you don't have oxalates, and then you can just reap the benefits of the food, right? It's so silly. Like, just add that at the end. Argue the other side, right? I realize these are YouTube shorts, and it kind of comes with a tray that you can't include everything, but come on.
Broccoli is bullshit. You guys have heard me say it before,
Broccoli
but I'm going to keep saying it because you need to hear it. Broccoli is part of the Brassica family of plants. This family of plants contains compounds like isothiocyanate, which prevent the absorption of iodine in your thyroid, which leads to lower levels of thyroid hormones, low energy, weight gain, fatigue, malaise. Broccoli is also a common cause of gas, bloating, GI issues. You know this. You know that you are eating broccoli and you are farting afterwards. I know what's happening to you. I am giving you permission to stop eating broccoli. It's not good for you, and it's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, gut's a very varied thing between people. If it is giving you intense gas, probably don't eat it, yeah. But to say it's going to like cause weight gain and all that other things, broccoli is, pretty micronutrient dense, and, you can easily argue the case for broccoli helping with weight loss as well. It's got thylakoids, which works on GLP-1, which is actually the same path and mechanism that Ozempic works on, except to a much less extent. But it's helpful for that. It's also low calorie and very high fiber, so satiating for low calories. It's so simple to argue the other side, but people just don't do it. And I know I'm picking on Paul. I don't mean to. These are just some of the ones I've seen, right? So if we go back to the foods I eat regularly, let's look at some of the upsides, because as I said, you want to argue both sides. Turmeric, what did I say before? It has phytic acid, yes, but it has flavonoids to prevent inflammation. It also has curcumin, which will increase brain-derived neurotropic factor for cognitive health. Chia seeds, very high in omega-3, counters the modern diet of high omega-6 for countering inflammation. Also pretty good in micronutrients, particularly iron. Brazil nuts, selenium's not that hard to get. They taste good, they have a lot of selenium. Candy, conventionally quite bad. This is just sugar and gelatin pretty much, but pre-training, quick absorbing carb that'll give you some energy. It won't, cause insulin resistance if you're a healthy individual and you're exercising it after, because muscle will uptake sugar through muscle activity without insulin. Extra virgin olive oil, I said, it's going to cause weight gain. Yes, if you are trying to cut, probably don't go too hard on the cooking oils. But, vitamin E, omega-3, flavonoids, very potent for anti-inflammatories, probably the best cooking oil you can buy. A lot of things do have specific use cases. I always try to argue devil's advocate. For example, if I'm bagging on seed oils, I always say, well, if you have cold-pressed flaxseed oil and you don't cook with it, it's actually very good for omega-3 and vitamin E. And if you just put forth one argument, it's so problematic. I think it's so rough nowadays that no one can agree on a certain food to eat. It's so strange. The people who probably just aren't involved with this whole health sphere at all and probably just eat, you know, mostly whole foods, they're probably a lot less stressed and probably have a better diet anyway than some of these people who are so involved but end up falling into these kind of social media traps. But that's kind of all I had to talk about today. It's an important topic. I don't mind if this doesn't really get too many views because it's a pretty hard video. I don't know what I'm going to title this at all, but if you enjoyed, let me know your thoughts down below. A bit of a different video today, but if you did enjoy this, there's some more videos. I'll see you next time.